Okay, we're live. Got my prototype of my spool holder done, and I got to get you closer here so you can see what it's doing. You kind of missed it. So there it's pulling the filament down. So I've got, I haven't glued this yet, but this arm comes out. I'm going to reprint a new one where I can position this PTFE tube that goes through better to center it up on the spool, and I may shorten it a little bit to reduce some of the weight. I've got a counterweight here, just right now a test to see how much I need. I'll probably print a little 3D printable thing that you can load with shot or something like that in there. But basically it'll pull the filament down, and then as it retracts it'll push that PTFE tube so it's split right up here. It's not a continuous PTFE tube. I just have short sections right at the MMU. And we're just doing a really quick little 2-color benchy. So there you can see it retracted a little bit. Now it's unloading. And while the filament curls around, it's not going to get tangled with all the other filaments because it's kind of held up in a gentle spiral by the PTFE tube that's captured here on the spool. So this is real free rolling on 2 bearings here. This arm's mounted on a 3rd bearing, so you've got enough bearings in the Prusa kit of their spool holders that they gave you to make one of these, plus have extra bearings left over. And the other thing that I really like is you can mount this a lot closer to the back end of the machine. If you see here in the background how far I have to have the white one and the silver one from the back of the machine in order to keep from getting into trouble with this green, because that's how it spools out. This has the same split PTFE tube, but because they're down on the table instead of being held up, they tend to tangle up with each other. So I got to print more of these and test them all out and see what it looks like when I get a bunch of them together. I'll give you another shot here. This is just a spool that I took off. And I don't think it'll matter kind of what position this is at. It should be able to be off to the side. And still do its job. You know, so it'll pull it down and keep it contained or controlled, and so I can have these sprayed around in a semicircle when I get 5 of them. But I should be able to pack them in here pretty contained. It's still going to take up a bunch of room, but anyway, that's my little project. This is just a cap for a plumbing cap for a steel pipe, and a few nuts stacked up in there, hanging on a little 3mm screw as a counterweight. I'm using 1/2-inch EMT tubing for the legs with just a little couple caps. They didn't sit real level. I suppose I could make this a solid piece, but seems pretty sturdy. I mean, it's, I can put a full roll on it. It seems okay. So I've got all the spools printed. This is prototype 1 or prototype 2 of the base arm thing, and I think that looks good. Before I release the files, I've got to go do some work on the spool spindle. I made it too tight for the bearings to fit in. It's a little bit tough, and I didn't put a relief for this one where it's got a long ways to go. I didn't put the bearing all the way out at the end. Bearing sets way back in there, so you didn't have to use such a long bolt to hold the thing on. Let's watch at it one more time. So yeah, I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work really good. All right, that's it for me. Happy printing, guys. We'll see you later.